Here we're going to look at simplifying square roots, but now we have numbers and we have a variable underneath. And so actually it turns out the variables are almost easier than the numbers. When we look at 75, we can't take the square root of 75, but we have to brainstorm, does 75 have any factors that we can take the square root of? If you're dealing with exponents, it's a little easier to tell whether or not you can take the square root. So let's think of a really simple example first to make sense of why this is the case. So square root of 9 is 3. So there's maybe one we already know. Why is that the case? Because if we do 3 times 3, we get 9, or if we do 3 squared, we get 9. So think when we have variables, like if I ask for the square root of x to the 4th, what could you multiply by itself that would give you x to the 4th? Well, if I'm trying to split it up evenly, it looks like if I did x squared times x squared, that would give me x to the 4th. And so notice what you're really doing if we're talking about multiplication. If there's 4 of them, you're doing something times itself, so you're really splitting the number of them in half. And so you notice from that, if I have any even exponents, then it should become pretty easy to take the square root, because all I'm saying is, oh, if I have, let's do another one, like square root of y to the 6th would be y to the 3rd, because if I do y to the 3rd times itself, that would give me y to the 6th. So let's try these ones. Alright, so first, like we pointed out, I can't take the square root of 75, but I can take the square root of 25, which is a factor of 75. So we'll split this up into the parts that I can take the square root of and the parts that I can't. Now notice with this v to the 8th, that's an even number, so it looks like I should be able to take the square root of that. And I like to do them in order of the things I can take the square root of and the things I can't. So square root of 25 is 5. What's the square root of v to the 8th? So if I had v to the 4th times v to the 4th, that would give me v to the 8th, which makes that the square root. So I'm cutting it in half. What times itself would give me v to the 8th? And square root of 3 is stuck under the square root, nothing I can do with that. And so 5v to the 4th times the square root of 3. And notice these were all multiplied by each other before. They're multiplied by each other now. It doesn't matter what order I write them in. So I like writing the stuff that I could free from under the square root first. Alright, so with 12u to the 16th, let's try this one. I can't take the square root of 12, but if I break it up as 4 and 3, and then I can take the square root of u to the 16th because it's at least an even amount. And so now we'll take all the parts we can do. So square root of 4 is 2. Square root of u to the 16th is u to the 8th. If I did this times itself, it would give me 16 of them. And then the square root of 3 is just stuck under there, nothing I can do with it. So 2u to the 8th square root of 3.